Daron Thomas, innocent until proven guilty? Not in Georgia. After filing an appeal in the Superior Court of Pulaski County, Georgia, on December 10, 2012, Daron Thomas was charged with willful contempt and had his bond revoked and sentenced to 30 days in jail on December 11, 2012. And he is still being illegally restrained against his will and intent in jail as of today. Mr. Thomas has been denied due process of law in Georgia. What do you do when you have a chance to stop another high-tech lynching of an innocent man? What if you knew someone who was attending a church meeting at the time of the commission of the crime?
What date and time did you see Daron Thomas?
January the 9th, 2012. It was at 7 o'clock, and our meeting lasted for about an hour and a half, from about 7 to 8:30, and then we kind of talked and fellowship with each other for about 30 additional minutes, maybe a little longer.
And where did you see Daron Thomas?
I saw him here at the church.
What date and time did you see Daron Thomas?
So Daron Thomas on the date of January 9th, 2012, approximately 7 to 9 p.m.
Where did you see Daron Thomas?
It's on the First Baptist Church on the Road Circle.
Daron Thomas and I was in a meeting on January the 9th, 2012, about between the hours of 7 and 9, concerned in a church meeting among the dead.
What date and time did you speak with Mr. Daron Thomas?
It was approximately January the 9th, 2012, around about 10:16 p.m.
Did you personally speak to Daron Thomas on said day?
Yes, I did.
The police report clearly states that the crimes were committed between 8 p.m. and 8:54 p.m. on the night of January 9th, 2012. The meeting was from 7 to 9 p.m. on the same night of the alleged crimes. The meetings lasted until 8:30, and Daron Thomas and the other deacons along with the pastor all stood in the church parking lot until 9 o'clock or a little longer. What if I told you that everyone who was in attendance wrote a notarized affidavit as to the whereabouts of Daron Thomas during the commission of the crime, and that the information was apparently withheld from the grand jury by the district attorney's office while the grand jury deliberated on whether or not to bring forth a true bill of indictment against Daron Thomas? All of the affidavits were turned in to the investigator on the case, who then turned them into the district attorney's office.
Did you attempt to alert the district attorney or the judge involved in the case of your knowledge of events described in your statement of facts?
Well, I wanted to. I went to the hearing for that purpose and was not allowed to make a statement.
What was the result of your attempt to notify the DA and or judge?
I'm sorry. I was asked to leave. I was asked to leave, myself along with another deacon and a couple of other folks. I think Daron's father and one of his uncles, and a friend had gone there to be supportive to him, and we were asked to leave.
I along with the pastor, was at the trial when they had his trial, and we went into the courtroom to be a witness that he was there at that time, and we were not allowed to speak. We was asked to leave the courtroom when the judge told the bailiff and everybody else that was standing there to tell us to leave the courtroom before we had any opportunity to speak.
And did you execute a statement of facts regarding said date and time?
Yes, I did.
Did you write an affidavit about Daron Thomas's whereabouts?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Mr. Thomas needed an attorney present to present the affidavits that the citizens of Georgia wrote as to his whereabouts on the night in question. Due process has been denied. The accused perpetrator, Oscar Stripling, was given what has resulted in an apparent death sentence through negligence by Judge H. Frederick Mullins, Jr. The grand jury met on April 9, 2012, and the district attorney, Timothy Vaughn, and his ADA, Gregor Berry, simply presented the false charges and came up with the true bill for indictment.
Did you at any time get a subpoena or other notice from the court to appear before the grand jury of Pulaski County regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by any police officer regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from Pulaski County District Attorney's Office?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from Pulaski County Public Defender's Office?
No.
Did you at any time get a subpoena or other notice from the court to appear before the grand jury of Pulaski County regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
Never got anything, no paper, no call, no anything. Nobody from no department alerted us that we was going to have an opportunity or even a subpoena to be at court.
Were you ever interviewed by any police officer regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from Pulaski County District Attorney's Office?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from Pulaski County Public Defender's Office?
No.
Did you at any time get a subpoena or other notice from the court to appear before the grand jury of Pulaski County regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
No, I didn't.
Were you ever interviewed by any police officer regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
No, I didn't.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from the Pulaski County District Attorney's Office?
No, I didn't.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from the Pulaski County Public Defender's Office?
No, I didn't.
Did you at any time get subpoenas or other notice from the court to appear before the grand jury of Pulaski County regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by any police officer regarding the matter of Daron Thomas?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from the Pulaski County District Attorney's Office?
No, ma'am.
Were you ever interviewed by anyone from the Pulaski County Public Defender's Office?
No, ma'am.
The investigator, Bill Clark, is a Mason. The judge, the DA, the assistant DA, all admitted to being Masons in open court. They are scratching each other's backs as they denied Daron Thomas of the due process of law, which is guaranteed to each and all of us.
What took place at said hearing that stood out in your mind?
What stood out in my mind is that matter of fact, the time in which we had to wait in order for him to even be called in, and then once he was called in, and myself and the pastor, along with his father and another friend, proceeded to go inside the courtroom, and there was no room to even be seated, so we all had to stand at the back of the courtroom in order to just wait for him to, be called up. And once he was called up, they asked a question, something about, did you do what he asked you to do? And Mr. Thomas proceeded to say, you're still not giving me my rights. And that way, that what stood in my mind is that it seemed like it deterred the judge. He automatically just said, you got it. You just get out of the court. Get him out of here. That stood up in my mind. I was like, why is the judge? What did I do? What did we do in order to deserve that type of treatment from a federal judge?
What stood out in my mind was the fact that there was a hearing, a public hearing, that was addressing an issue concerning someone that I know and have known for years, who was accused of doing something that I know he could not have done it because he was here at the church at the time. And as his pastor, because I've known him and his family, I wanted to support him, along with one of the other deacons and some other folks. And what stood out was that I was not given an opportunity to express my support of him, and also to validate that he was at the church during that time.
Now, Daron Thomas's rights are being violated as we speak. This is simply not good government.